Good morning, students. In this particular chapter, trigonometric functions, you have learnt a little bit, that is the measurement of an angle, the radian measure, and then how to convert the degree to radian and vice versa, then how to find the length of the arc of a circle, and then how to find the area of the sector of a circle, and then we revised whatever you had learnt in your high school classes, that is about the definition of the trigonometric ratios, the reciprocal ratios, the identities, and also the standard values. So, using the standard values, I mean the trigonometric ratios of standard angles we say, or the values of the trigonometric ratios of some angles, standard angles we take, that is 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degrees, all those things now we had discussed in the earlier session. Now, in today's session, I am going to teach you about an angle called as an allied angle, and in this one some rules I am going to teach you, that only the rules I am mentioning, I am not proving anything. Go through all these rules properly, these are very important. Why they are important means, in the earlier session when we discussed about the standard angles, no, they were only confined to 0 to 90, that is it was in the first quadrant we considered. 0 to 90 we took 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. Now, whatever may be the value of the angle theta that we will be considering, how to find the value of say sine of 199 degrees or cos of 2999 degrees, something like that. So, if the angle crosses 90 degrees, it may be whatever may be the value of the angle here, how to find the value of the trigonometric ratio of an angle which crosses 90 degrees, more than 90 degree. So, whatever rules I am going to teach you, they help us to find the value of the trigonometric ratio of any angle and also the sine. See, when the angle was considered in the first quadrant, we took all the ratios to be positive. Now, depending upon the quadrant, depending upon the ratio, the sine means SIGN, plus or minus, it would be changing from one quadrant to another quadrant, from one ratio to another ratio. So, the rules which I am going to teach you will help you to find the value and the sine of a trigonometric ratio of any given angle. It can be a very high angle or it may be very low value, you can calculate that one. So, here we are going to learn about that part here. Problems I may take up in the next session. In this session, I am going to give you the theory part of that one. Now, I have written the heading as allied angle. What do you mean by allied angle? You just take an angle theta, some angle theta x, anything you can take. When you take an angle theta, then these angles 90 plus theta or minus theta, that is 90 added to this as taken out from that one, and 180 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta, 360 plus or minus theta. Of course, I am using the degree measurement here. You can write it as pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. So, it can be expressed in radian measure as well as in degree measure. So, all these angles now we call them as the allied angles of the angle theta. Now, these we call them as quadrantal angles, 90, 180, 270, 360, they are usually called as the quadrantal angles. So, these angles, now these values, angles, we call them as the allied angles of the angle theta. That is, for example, suppose I am having 120 degree. How can you write this one? You can write it as, one method is, see if you use this one 90 plus 30, or if you come to this one, you can write it as 180 minus 60. So, that is why I am writing 90 plus or minus 180 plus or minus 270 plus or minus 360 plus or minus. So, the same angle 120 could be expressed in two different ways. Either you can write 90 plus something or 180 minus something, because when you draw this one, it is 0 here, here to here it is 90, it is 180, 270 and this would be again equal to 360 degree, isn't it? So, this is the first quadrant means 0 to 90, second means 90 to 180, third means 180 to 270 and 270 to 360 is the fourth quadrant. So, here any angle Any given angle can always be expressed in two different ways using any one of the procedure. Suppose I take an angle 300 degrees. How could you write that one? Either you can write it as 270 plus 30, or how can you write? You can write it as 360 minus 60. So both the methods are correct. So any given angle can always be expressed in two different ways. So when we consider an angle theta, general angle theta, 90 plus or minus theta, 180 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta, 360 plus or minus theta, all of them they are called as the allied angles of the angle theta, of the given angle theta. Now our problem now is how to find the value of an angle. Just now wrote 120. Suppose I want to find sine of 120, cos of 120 or tan of 120, like that. If you want to find the value up to 0 to 90, we have some standard values here. If it crosses 90 degrees, how to find the value and what would be the sign of that one? To know that, there are two rules here. Remember these rules properly. Now the first rule, Rule 1 says that if the angle is expressed as 90 plus or minus theta or 270 plus or minus theta, if the angle is expressed as 90 plus or minus theta, or you can write and also 270 plus or minus theta, when you find the value, the function would be changed over to cofunction. That is, the function would be changed over to cofunction. Next problem is, what do you mean by a cofunction? Look here, you know that we have learnt about the definition of 6 trigonometric ratios, trigonometric functions we can call them. Now, you know that sine we write, isn't it? Cos we write, cos means before this now we write COSINE. So for sine, cos is the cofunction, for cos, sine is the cofunction. You may remember sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. So for 3 ratios now, CO has been added before. Okay, so then we got, of course for short we write cot like this, it is actually cotangent. Cosine, short we say cos, isn't it? And secant, cosecant. So for sine, cos is the cofunction, for cos, sine is the cofunction. That is why I have written arrow on both the sides. And this is one pair of cofunction. What is the second pair? It is secant and cosecant. Secant and cosecant. The other one is tan and cot. See, one more thing, don't get confused between the reciprocal ratios and the cofunction. Reciprocal ratios are sin theta and cosecant theta, cos theta, secant theta, and tan theta, cot theta. I am here discussing about the cofunction. That is different, this is different. But tan and cot, they are cofunctions as well as reciprocal ratios. Okay. So these are the 3 pairs of the cofunctions. What I mean by that is, when the angle is expressed either this way or that way, it may be 90 plus something, 90 minus something, 270 plus something, 270 minus something, function that is sine will become cos. If cos is there, it will be changed over to sine. I am referring only to the value, I have not come to the sine part of that one, that is whether it is positive or negative. I will come to that later. So the first rule says that if the angle is expressed like this, 90 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta, function would be changed over to cofunction. And these are the 3 pairs of the cofunction. Now, next I will tell you how to apply the this rule here. Now let me go to the second rule. First I will mention both the rules, then I will come to the how to apply that rule. The second rule says that if the angle is expressed 180 plus or minus theta and 360 plus or minus theta, the other possibility, then the function remains the same. That is, there is no change in the function. If sine is there, it will become sine, cos, cos, tan, tan, like that. There is no change in the function. If the angle is expressed 90 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta, function will be changed over to cofunction. If the angle is expressed as 180 plus or minus theta, 360 plus or minus theta, then the function remains the same. That is, there is no change in the function. Now, both these rules, rule 1 and rule 2, give us only the value of that one, only the value. Now, here the sign would be different. That is, see, in the first quadrant, we have taken all the ratios to be positive, isn't it? But in the, when you go to different quadrants, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, a particular function or ratio would be positive, the other would be negative. Now, for that, no, we have a third rule here. Of course, all these could be derived also, but if you know the information, that would be enough. Now, here, consider the 4 quadrants here. Consider the 4 quadrants. As you know, this is the first quadrant, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one. We can consider a circle and take a point and prove all these results. If you know the results, that would be enough. Now, in the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive. In the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive. Okay. In the second one, sine and its reciprocal, that is sine and cosecant, are positive. In the third one, we are having tan and its a reciprocal, cot, are positive. And in the fourth one, cos and its a reciprocal, secant, are positive. Now, I am taking the first letter of all the words here. Now, this rule, the rule 3, gives us the sign of that one. Sign means SIGN, plus or minus. Okay. So, this helps us which quadrant, which ratio would be positive, which would be negative. Come to the first quadrant. All the ratios are positive. So far, we had considered the angles between 0 and 90, we had taken them positive only. All of them are positive. So, I have taken A here. Next, come to the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, when sign is positive means its reciprocal, cosecant, will also be positive. That means, out of the 6 ratios, 2 would be positive means remaining 4 would be negative. Only those positive ratios I have written here. That means that the remaining are negative. What are the remaining ratios? Cos, secant, tan and cot. So, in this any angle comes in this particular quadrant more than 90, less than 180. If you take say tan of 135 or cos of 150, all of them now will be having the minus sign. Come to the third quadrant. Tan and cot are positive here. So, tan and cot are positive means what are the remaining ratios? Sin, cosecant, cos and secant. Only these two are positive and it would be, the remaining would be negative. So, the angles, as you know, it is 0 and also equal to 360, 90 and this is 180 and this is 270. So, if the angle lies between 180 and 270, if you take tan of some angle and cot of some angle, they would be negative. They would be positive. All the remaining would be negative. Suppose I take a sine of 240 degree or cos of 215, some angle which lies between these two values now will always be a negative number. Now, come to the fourth quadrant. In this one, cos and secant are positive means the remaining sine, cosecant, tan or cot. You take an angle between 270 and 360, 300 degrees. So, if you take sine of 300, it is negative. Tan of 300, it is negative. If you take cos of 300, it would be positive. Secant of 300, it would be positive. So, only those positive ratios are mentioned. That means that the remaining ratios would be negative. Now, taking the first letter like this, it is written in two different ways. Some write it as acts rule, that is taking like this, ACTS, acts rule. Some write it as ASTC. See, both ways of expressing is it's allowed. See, they take like this, first, second, third, fourth, ASTC, or some they take in the clockwise direction, ACTS. So, this would be acts rule or ASTC. So, both, if you remember, that gives us only the sign of the trigonometric ratio. The rule 1 and the rule 2 tell us the value of that one, and rule 3 gives us the sign of that one. So, to find the value and sign of any trigonometric ratio of any given angle, you have to use these 3 rules. So, this help us, all the 3 rules, they help us to find the value and the sign of any a trigonometric ratio of any angle, however big or however small they may be. Now, here we may have a feeling that if you use rule 1 it may be different, if you use rule 2 it may be different. It is not so. To find the value, either you can use the rule 1 or rule 2. Whichever rule, to find the value I am telling you, whichever rule you follow, you will be getting the same value, same answer. But you have to be careful to apply the proper method, you have to apply the proper method to arrive at the value. You have to remember, if you apply the rule 1, 90 plus or minus theta, 270 plus or minus theta, you have to make sure that you are changing the function to co-function. If it is the other way, 180 plus or minus theta, 360 plus or minus theta, see that the function remains the same. So, those things you have to remember. And this third rule, what I told, what you call AX rule or the ASTC rule, that gives us the sign of that one. Now, when I take an example, you will understand clearly about this one. I am considering some example. Find the value of sine of 120 degrees and then cos of 240. Cos of 240. I am taking two angles into different. This is second quadrant, that is in the third quadrant. Now, I am using both the rules here so that you will not have any confusion. That is which rule that you have to follow to arrive at the value. I am using both the rules and show you that in both ways we get the same value, same sign. First, let me take this one, sine of 120. Okay, sine of 120. First, I am writing this as, first method, I write it as sine of 90 plus 30. I told you I have to change the function to co-function. That I am displaying now, I am showing now, explaining now. Okay, sine of 120, I am using the first rule here. It can be written as 90 plus 30. And another thing, you remember, when you express the angle as a sum or difference of that one, you cannot use any other angle. You have to use this quadrantal angle, 90, 180, 270, 360. Don't write it as 100 plus 20 or 110 plus 10, not like that. You have to use those angles only. Then only the rules can be applied. Okay, 90 plus 30. Now, I am using the first rule here. When I use the first rule here, what is the condition? The function should be changed over to co-function. Next, this gives how to write this one. Now, look at this angle and this ratio. First, you have to write the sign also, whether it is positive or negative. 120 degrees. Which quadrant does it lie? It lies in the second quadrant. Second quadrant. Now, what is the ratio I am considering? Sine ratio. And you know that in the second quadrant, just now I gave you that one, in the second quadrant, sine is positive. Therefore, write the sign first. So, sine is over. Next, I am using 90 plus 30. According to the rule 1, the function should be changed over to co-function. For sine, what is a co-function? It is cos. Now, don't take this value when you write the next step. Okay? Here 90 plus something I have written. Don't take this sign also. Sometimes we write minus also here. So, this plus or minus, don't take that to the next step. Neglect this part, the quadrantal angle, standard angle, not standard, quadrantal angle. Omit that one, write only this part here. Suppose you have written 90 minus 30 also, don't take minus here. Only this numerical value you have to consider. So, I am following the first rule. Look at first sign has to be decided. Look at the angle, look at the ratio, decide about the sign here. So, in the second quadrant, sign is positive because the sign of this one should be calculated for the given ratio, not for this one, for the given ratio. So, given ratio is sine, the given angle is 120, which is in the second quadrant. Therefore, it has to be positive. So, I have written the sign, sign part is over. Now, I have written 90 plus something. When you use a 90, function should be changed over to co-function. So, I have written sine as cos. Don't take this value, write only this one. Now, what is cos 30? As you know, it is a standard value. Therefore, the answer is root 3 by 2. Cos 30 has got the value root 3 by 2. So, I got the value. That is why I was telling in the previous session, the standard values are very important, standard angles, because however big an angle may be, we can convert that into one of the standard values which would lie between 0 and 90 degrees. Now, let me come to this part here. Now, here I can write it as, see I am using the same rule, first rule I am using here, 240. Which quadrant does it come? It lies between 180 and 270, that is in the third quadrant. So, what I do is, I am using 270 minus 30, 270 minus 30, because I mean 270 is the third part, no? The 270 minus 30, isn't it? Now, next step, first you split the angle and write. Next is, first you have to write the sign of this one. Here, look at the angle, look at the ratio, 240. Where does it lie? It lies in the third quadrant, isn't it? It lies in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, which is positive, only tan and cot are positive. So, what about cos? It is negative. So, write it. So, the sign should be decided looking at the angle, looking at the ratio. Suppose I had given you tan, it would become positive. So, you have to be careful about this one, because for a 1 mark question, sign is also important. If you write the value correctly, sign is wrong, do not get the mark for that one. So, cos of 240 I have written as 270 minus 30, and because the angle is lying in the third quadrant and the ratio we are considering cosine, therefore, it is negative. Now, here again, for cos, what is a co-function? Sine. So, change, because I am writing that as 270 minus something, write minus sign and do not write this minus sign here, it is only 30. Take only this angle, whether it is minus or positive, that is why I have taken two different examples here. Plus or minus, do not take that one, only this part you have to take, the numerical value, the angle you have to take. Now, you know that sin 30 is a standard value which is half. So, in this case, I got it as minus half. Okay. So, I am using here the rule 1 to express the angle as 90 plus something, 270 minus something, and these are the answers I obtained here. Now, I am considering the other way of expressing the same angle. Okay. And for this sine part, it is always the ACTS rule, ACTS or ASTC. So, that rule we have to follow. Rule 1 and rule 2 only for the value of the trigonometric function. The ACTS rule is only for the sine part. If you combine, then we get the full answer for that one. Now, let me consider this angle 120. As you know, it can also be written as 180 minus 60. Value is same. 90 plus 30 is also 120, 180 minus 60 is also 120. Now, the angle is in the second quadrant, sine ratio, so positive, no change in the sign. Now, look here, which way I have written? I am following the second rule here. According to the second rule, if the angle is expressed as 180 plus or minus theta or 360 plus or minus theta, the same trigonometric function continues, remains the same. That means that sine should be written as sine only. And do not write minus 60, take only this value, it is 60. Okay. Now, plus what is the value of sine 60? It is a standard value, that is root 3 by 2. Look here, here also we had got root 3 by 2, there also I got the same value. So, whichever rule you follow, if you apply properly, you get the same value. But here you have to be extremely careful to write sine as cos or cos as sine, tan as cot, cot as tan, secant as cosecant, cosecant as secant. For the sine part, refer to the ACTS rule. So, we get the same value. If you write it as 180 plus something or 180 minus something, the same function continues. Now, come to this problem, cos of 240. Okay. Cos of 240, let me write it here. Now, cos of 240, I am writing in another way. Here I have written it as 270 minus 30. I am writing now as 180 plus 60. Isn't it? It can also be expressed like this. I am using 270 minus something, 180 plus something. So 180 plus 60. So for the sine part, it is third quadrant, cos ratio, it is negative. So no change in that argument, only the way we write. Because I am using 180 here, I am using 180, you have to write the same function. It is cos of this angle, it is cos 60. So what is the value of cos 60? It is 1 by 2 with the negatives. You observe that we got the same value there. So you need not worry. If you use one particular rule, the value may be different. It is not so. Rule 1, rule 2, two ways of expressing the same thing. Therefore, you can just to find the value of the trigonometric ratio using either the first rule or the second rule. When you apply the first rule, you have to be extremely careful because the function will be changed over to co-function. That is one thing you have to remember. In the second rule, the same trigonometric function would be remaining there. Now, so you have seen that in both ways we get the same answer. Now, the next question is, see here in these examples, I took the angles which were both the angles which were lying in the first 4 quadrants only. 120 it was lying in the second quadrant and 240 it was lying in the third quadrant. I could have taken an angle in the fourth quadrant also. See, always we may not get an angle which would lie in the first 4 quadrants, isn't it? Suppose I am having an angle say 1110 degrees. Suppose I ask you to find the value of tan of 1110 degrees. If the angle crosses 360 degrees, then we will write in a different way. Look here. Here 0 degree, then 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree. So when it completes one round, what would be the angle here? It is again equal to 360. Correct? So one complete round means angle covered will be at the center would be 360 degrees. Now you observe it is certainly more than that one. Now what we do is one round if you go 360. Another round if you go, it would be equal to 720. Another round you go, it would be equal to 1080. So each time we cannot go on counting like that, 360 one time, then it becomes 720, it becomes 1080 like that. So that is each time adding, it's now what we do is, we divide this number if it is more than 360. Remember that procedure. If it is more than 360, divide that angle. See here, when the angle I gave you was 120, by looking, because it's a smaller angle, I could write it as either 90 plus 30 or 180 minus 60. Here, it is quite a big angle. How to write that one? You have to go on subtracting 360 from that one. 1110 minus 360, you will get some number. From that you subtract minus 360. One round means 360. Another round means another 360. Again subtract 360. So subtracting a quantity again and again is as good as dividing that number by the given number. So easier method of subtraction. Subtracting a number again and again, the same number from the given number, is as good as dividing that number by the given number. So what I do in such cases, it is 110 divided by 360. Now 3 times you can divide. It is 1080. Subtract, you will be getting 30 degree as a remainder. Now let me write like this. It is tan of, how many times we have divided? 3 times. So write it as 360 into 3 plus what is remaining? It is 30. So if you multiply 360 and 3, you get 1080. When you add 30, you get back the number 1110 degrees. So the same angle I have written like this. So it is going one round, we come back to the 0 position. Another round again to the 0 position. Another round again to the 0 position. So after that, now just now I told you this angle is expressed either using 90, 180, 270, 360. Then to get it now, whatever angle is present there, you take only. Neglecting this one, you can directly write it as tan of 30. It is a standard value. What is tan 30? It is 1 by square root of 3. So this is the value of the trigonometric function, okay, trigonometric ratio. So if the angle crosses 360 degrees, it is easier way I feel. So divide that number by 360, okay, and you will be getting some quotient, some remainder. So express the angle, directly do not write, no, you have to express like this. So 1,110 is as good as writing 360 into 3 plus 30 degrees. So just now I told these are quadrantal angle that can be neglected. In the previous two examples, the 90 and 180 I omitted. I took only the other part of the angle. Here also omit this one and take only the value tan 30. That is why these standard values are important. It would be converted into another, expressed in another way, so that you can make use of the value of the trigonometric ratio of the standard angle. So this is the procedure we adopt. Let me take another example. Suppose I want to find out the value of cos of, say, 840 degrees. 840 degrees. You observe that here 840 is certainly more than 360. Now let me divide that number, otherwise 1 round 360, subtract from this one like this, 840 minus 360, how much is remaining? 8, and this is 7 minus 3, 4. So subtract another number, it is 2 like this. So many times subtracting and subtracting, instead of that one, you can divide the number by 360. So how many times here? 2 times means 720. What is remaining? It is 120. So let me write this as cos of 360 into 2 plus write the remainder. I hope remember the rule of the division. Remainder should always be less than the divisor. Okay. Now here 360 into 2 plus 120. It's a quadrantal angle. So now omitting this one, you can write the angle to be cos 120. Now again, now I am using the rule of the allied angle. This 120 can be written as either 180 minus 60. Then I am using the rule 2. Or if you write 90 plus 30, you are using the first rule. Suppose I write it as 90 plus 30. If I use it as 90 plus 30, look here, I am using the first rule. Now to decide about the sign, plus or minus, look at the angle, look at the ratio. Now the angle is 120, that is it is in the second quadrant, and the ratio is cosine. A cos is a negative in the second quadrant, first write minus. So sign part is over, you need not worry. Now because I am using 90 plus 30, I am expressing it as 90 plus 30, cos would be changed out to its co-function. For cos, what is a co-function? It is sine, and omit this number 90, write it as 30. And 30 is a standard value, so you can write it is minus half. So the cos of 840 has got the value minus half. So here I have taken only 840 and 1000. It can be 1,199 degrees, or it can be 2 crores, any angle, however big that may be, you divide like this, and for the remainder part, no, you get the value of the trigonometric function. For that, depending upon how you express 90 plus something, 270 plus something, you apply the first rule. Or if you use the other rule, that is 180 plus something, or 360 plus or minus something, you will be getting the you will be using the rule 2. To decide about the sign, plus or minus, use the acts rule. Now these they are very important, because you will be expecting, we will be working out some problems connected with these things. Which angle, which ratio in which quadrant, positive or negative. That is about the sign of the trigonometric ratio. Which rule, if you apply, how to change over the function. Rule 1, function to co-function. Rule 2, keep the same function as it is. Sometimes the angle would be a negative angle. I have already told you in the very first session, if the angle is measured in the anti-clockwise direction, we take it as a positive. If the angle is measured in the clockwise direction, it is taken as negative. It's by convention. That is the way we take the sign of the angle. Now, suppose the angle is measured in the clockwise direction. The angle, as you know, will have the minus sign. So, suppose we are having sin of minus 45, cos of minus 90 or tan of minus 10 degrees. It need not be always a standard value. Some angle, if it is taken in the negative, what would be the rule? How to find the value? For that now, I am giving this rule. Sin of minus theta would be minus sin theta. Okay. Cos of minus theta would be plus cos theta. Be careful about this one. Tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Even this can be derived by drawing the figure, considering a triangle in the first quadrant and taking a triangle. Minus means it is like this. See, if you measure like this, it is positive. If you measure like this, it is negative, isn't it? So, you just take a triangle here, then it would be positive. If you take it, continue this one and comparing the two triangles here, we can arrive at the result. All these derivations usually are not expected. So, I am giving directly the rule of this one. How you get is, actually when we start measuring in the clockwise direction, we get the fourth quadrant here. So, in the fourth quadrant, this is not a hard rule I am telling, for easy to remember for you to how it would be negative or positive. So, cos of minus theta in the fourth quadrant, as you know, cos is positive. So, we take it as positive. Sin of minus theta would be minus sin theta and tan of minus theta would be minus tan. Both of them are, these results are applicable both ways. Suppose I have been given as minus sin theta, I can express it as sin of minus theta. And cos of theta can also be written as cos of minus theta. Minus tan theta can be written as tan of minus theta. They are applicable both ways. See, whatever rule I am telling for sin theta, it is applicable for cosecant theta also. Cosecant of minus theta is minus cosecant theta. Secant of minus theta is plus secant theta. Cot of minus theta is minus cot theta. So, if I apply a rule for a particular ratio, the rule is applicable to its reciprocal also. Now, these are the trigonometric ratios of minus theta. So, you have to remember all these results. All of them are very important because while working out the problems, now we have to remember all these rules, either to find the value or a particular angle. It may be standard angle or otherwise also. If you remember all these rules, all the rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3, then you can find the value of a trigonometric ratio of any angle, however big or however small that may be. Now, I took some angle which was lying either in the first quadrant or second, third, fourth, like that. Suppose I see 0 to 90, we have already discussed in the set of the standard values, standard angles. Suppose the angle is 180 degree exactly and it is 270 degree and 360 degree. That is, what is sin of 180? What is cos of 270? What is tan of 360? So, how to find the value of the trigonometric ratio of this quadrantal angles? How to find that one? For that, no, we use these two rules. Either you can learn the rule first or the second rule here. So, next problem is to find the values of the trigonometric ratios of 180, 270 and 360 degrees. The trigonometric ratios of these angles. Of course, these derivations will not be asked, but after getting the value here, we are getting another important information. Let me take the first one. Sin of 180 degrees. Sin of 180 degrees. Now, you can express it in two different ways. One is 90 plus 90, isn't it? 90 plus 90, 180 is 90 plus 90, then we will be using the first rule. Or you can use it as 180 minus 0. 90 plus 90 or 180 minus 0. The value is same, two ways of expressing the same thing. Suppose I write it as 90 plus 90. I have told you already, whichever rule you follow, you get the same result, same value, same answer. Sin 90 plus 90. Now, whatever may be the second angle, 90 plus something, I have expressed using 90 plus something. Naturally, sign would be changed over to 90 plus something means, irrespective of the value, we take 90 plus something means in the second quadrant. Second quadrant means it is always positive because I am taking the sign ratio. Now, sign would be changed over to cos, isn't it? So, omitting this one, I take this value, cos 90. What is cos 90? You have seen that the table in the previous session, cos 90 has got the value 0. Suppose I had written this as like this, 180 minus 0, even that is another way of expressing. So, when you write 180, you have to keep the same function, that is sin 0. What is sin 0? Even that you have seen. So, whatever way you express, okay, 90 plus 90 or 180 minus 0, you get the same value. That means that sin of 180 is equal to 0. Next, we move on to the next ratio, that is cos of 180, cos of 180. I am discussing only the first three ratios, sin, cos and tan, because the other would be the reciprocal of the values. Cos of 180 degrees. Cos of 180, you can write it in the same way. Just now I told you, you can write 180 minus 0 or 90 plus 90. Okay. Suppose anyway both of them need not be written. I have shown both for the previous one. Suppose I write it as 180 minus something. 180 minus something means it is always in the second quadrant, isn't it? Where second quadrant cos is negative. Therefore, you write the minus sign first. Now, because I am using 180, the same function continues and write this angle. Omitting this one, we write it as cos 0, and cos 0 is a standard value. What is that one? 1. So, it is minus 1. So, sin 180 is 0 and cos 180 is equal to minus 1. Now, come to the third one, tan of 180, tan of 180. Either you write it as 90 plus 90 or you can write it as 180 minus 0 also. Both ways you get the same result, no problem. Now, 180 minus something means you get the same function, tan. Okay. Now, of course, it is negative only, minus, but tan 0 we write, what is tan 0? Tan 0 is 0. Minus 0 plus 0, it doesn't, so we write it as 0. Okay, we write it as 0. So, these are the values of 180 degrees of these trigonometric ratios. So, sin 180 is 0, cos 180 is minus 1, tan 180 is equal to 0. Now, let me consider the next angle, that is 270 degrees. Okay. Now, take sin of 270 because 90 we had learnt in the earlier session. And you are familiar in your high school classes only standard values. So, I am taking the other angles 180, 270 and then 360. Now, again there are two ways of writing this one, 180 plus 90 or 270 minus 0, 180 plus 90 or 270 minus 0. So, 270 if you use, you have to use the first rule. 180 if you use, you have to use the second rule. So, how do you write this one? Both are correct. Both the methods are correct here. In whatever way you want, you can express that one. Okay. So, write it as sin of 180 plus 90. Now, 180 plus something means it comes to the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sin is negative. So, write the minus sign. So, omit this angle, take the other angle, that is sin 90. Okay. Sin 90 would be equal to 1 as you know. So, this value becomes minus 1. Hence, we have here minus 1. Now, cos of 270. Cos of 270. Now, you can write it as 180 plus 90 or you can write the other way also, 360 minus 90 also you can write. If you write 360 minus 90, even then you will be getting the same value. There is no difference in that one. Suppose I write it as 180 plus something, then it would be, I write as in the other way, you can write it as 180 plus 90. Okay. So, it is in the third quadrant, ratio is cosine, therefore, the sign is minus. Neglecting this one, write cos 90, but you know cos 90 is 0. So, it is minus 0. So, 0, we do not have to minus or plus, it is 0 only. Now, take tan. Tan 270, let me write it as another way. 360 minus 360 minus 90. You can write 270 minus something also, 360 minus 90 also, all both of them are correct. 180 plus 90 also you can write here. Okay. Now 360 means it is the last number, fourth quadrant, minus something. Fourth means it would be negative. Using this result, you can write it as tan 90. Tan 90 is when we tan 90 we find out, it would be always 0 we get in the denominator. When you took the standard value, tan 90 we get 1 by 0. Sin 90 was 1, cos 90 was 0. So, tan 90 would be 1 by 0, not defined. I had given in the table, not defined, but for practical purposes, we denote it as infinity. Strictly speaking, it is not defined. Whenever 0 comes in the denominator position, it is not defined, but we write it as it is infinite. It's a notation for a huge quantity. So, we write it as minus infinity. So, 1 minus 1, 0 and minus infinity. And finally, we go to 360. Now, 360, you can write it as sine of 360 plus 0. 360 minus 0, 360 plus 0 does not make any difference. 360 plus something means in the first quadrant we will be considering. After completing one round, we go back to the first quadrant. It is sine 0, which is 0. Similarly, cos of 360 is cos of 360 plus 0. It is cos 0 whose value is 1. Third one is tan of 360, that is tan of 360 plus 0, that is again equal to tan 0, that would be equal to 0, because these 0 values, no, they were all standard values we had got already in the previous, we had learnt about that one in the previous session. So, this is how we get the values of the trigonometric ratios. Of course, the other 3 ratios can also be considered. Usually we take these 3, the remaining 3 would be the reciprocal of the respective ratios. Now, entering all these in the form of a table. When in the form of a table if you write, we get an important information. Here I am writing the trigonometric ratios or functions you can write. Okay. Next is 0 degrees, then 90, 180, 270 and 360. The same type of table I had given in the previous session also when we were discussing about the standard values. There I took 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. So, I am taking the quadrantal angles here, I am taking the ratios, sine, cos and tan. Now, sine 0, we know that already, sine 91. Now, just now we have calculated, it is minus 1 and 0. Similarly, cos 0 is 1, this is 0, minus 1, 0 and plus 1. This is 0 and we have got here infinity, this is 0, it is minus infinity, this is again 0. Now, in the one of the problems I showed you, if the angle crosses 360, by dividing by 360, it can be brought to any one of the standard values. So, however big an angle may be, it can be converted into any angle between 0 and 90 to any one of the standard values. So, here look at the values of sine, cos and tan. Sine starts with 0 here and it rises to 1, comes back to 0, decreases to -1 and again goes to 0. So, whatever may the value of sine theta, I can say sine of 22,999 degrees certainly should be lying between -1 and +1. Similarly, when you take cos 1 to 0, decreasing, further decreasing, increasing and increasing. So, the maximum value of sin theta or cos theta would be +1 and the minimum value, the least value is -1. This is an important information. However big an angle may be or however small an angle may be, angle theta, sin theta and cos theta always lie between -1 and +1. So, we write like this, -1 less than or equal to sin theta, cos theta less than or equal to +1. Now, theta takes any real value. Real value means it may be positive, negative, any real value you can give for theta there. The value would be always lying between -1 and +1. Suppose I will come up in some problem, sin theta is equal to 2, it is a meaningless statement. It cannot cross the value. It cannot be more than +1, it cannot be less than, not be slightly more than 1 or slightly less than -1. It has to lie between -1 and +1. It can be negative or positive, but strictly it will be lying between -1 and +1 for any value of theta. It may be a very big angle, very small angle, because theta takes all the real values. So, irrespective of the value of theta, the values of sin theta and cos theta always lie between -1 and +1. Similarly, tan theta, you observe here, it is -infinity and to any value. Suppose I say tan theta is equal to 199, it is a correct answer. Tan theta is equal to 2 crore, it is correct answer, because you look at the range of this one. It is -infinity to +infinity, whereas the range in for those two trigonometric function. I hope remember about the range and the domain of the function which I taught in the earlier chapter. See, range, domain for theta, for all of them, a set of real numbers here, whereas the range is between -1 to +1 for sin theta and cos theta. For tan theta, it is a huge range, -infinity to +infinity. So, I can say the domain is also R, the range is also equal to R. Of course, we do not take this value here, pi by 2, we do not consider, because tan pi by 2, though we denote it as infinity, we say it is not defined. So, omitting this, any multiple of this pi by 2, that is pi by 2, 2 pi by 2, like that, no? 3 pi by 2, in general, an odd multiple of pi by 2, we do not consider that one, because we denote it as infinity, no problem, but strictly speaking, it is not defined at all. So, using this one, we get two information. Sin theta and cos theta will always be lying between -1 and +1, okay? Whereas tan theta, it always lies between -infinity and +infinity. Now, go through all these information properly. They are very important. We will meet in the next session. In the next session, I am going to give you about the domain and the range of the trigonometric function. You should have a knowledge about that one. For this information would be enough. Sin theta, cos theta lies between -1 +1, lie between -1 +1, and tan theta lies between -infinity +infinity. But I am discussing about the other three ratios also, the reciprocal. We will discuss about that in the coming session, and with that I am going to work out some problems. So, we will meet in the next session. Thank you.